angle of attack is definitely a data point that I use a lot in my own coaching and in my own game when I'm practicing on a simulator. Understand data a little bit better with me, Andy Little. Welcome to this video. I want to explain what I look for when it comes to angle of attack because it has huge implications on your strike, especially with irons off the ground, and the sort of distance that you are going to achieve with your driver. And they are very different. So if I'm hitting an iron, I am looking for a negative angle of attack. That means that this club is traveling downwards into the golf ball, okay? Now, it's not going to guarantee a good strike because my weight distribution, my body alignment may be off, but I need to try to encourage that I'm getting a negative angle of attack. One way that I need to make sure I do this is that my trail wrist has a little bit of extension. So ultimately, the grip is going to beat the club head back to the golf ball. That is going to help me achieve a downward stroke. If you are practicing and you are seeing a positive number, that means the club has bottomed out in its swing arc before the golf ball and now is working up into the golf ball. So if you hit it fat, if you hit it thin, that is what you need to be focusing on, trying to get a slightly more negative angle of attack. If you are struggling with not getting a negative angle attack, I would say one of my best drills that I offer my online subscribers is that you just put a towel. This is quite a thick towel, so I'm going to move it back a little bit. Put a towel just behind the golf ball. This is about 2 club heads. I could probably get a little bit closer. Because if you are getting a positive angle of attack, which is incorrect for an iron, you are probably hanging back on your trail side and losing wrist angles coming into the golf ball. You are then more likely to hit the towel. If you can feel that you can stand here, rotate in the backswing and stay fairly centered, shift into your lead side so you're sort of more forward than you was at address, you are hopefully going to move the bottom of your arc after the golf ball, so then you're catching the golf ball still on your downward arc, and therefore you can get your negative angle of attack. For me, again, different clubs are going to be different angles of attack as a preference, but I would say if you can get anything from 2 to 5, again, just keeping it simple as a blanket between a 9-iron and a 4-iron, yes, they are slightly different. As the club gets longer, you probably want less of a negative angle of attack. But anywhere between 2 and 5, I would be quite happy with. If I see a positive number with an iron, then I know that me or my client has done something wrong. So again, just to put myself to shame, we will try and get a negative angle of attack with this shot and just miss the towel as a nice visual for me. So the strike felt good. Strike felt ball ground contact. Would have been a nice little divot. And then from a negative angle of attack, hey, there we go. Woo! Relief. I haven't shamed myself on the internet again. And then we're going to move into driver. So driver is completely different. Driver is more than the positive angle of attack. So you can do exactly the same with the towel. I tend to use a head covers quite often. I would say if there was a training aid that I love for working on angle of attack that I wish that I had at the studio before filming this would be a yoga wedge. Just because I like the design of the yoga wedge, that little sort of triangle, it sort of encourages that downward blow when you put it behind the golf ball, and then it encourages that sort of upward shot when you have it in front of the golf ball. So when it comes to driver, I want a positive number. The head cover, if I wanted to practice, goes about a grip and a half in front. And you're looking to get that negative that you were using with an iron to a more positive. That means that when you are hitting driver, you do not want to be shifting so far forward to move the low point in front of the golf ball. You want to feel that you get to the top of the swing. Yes, pressure is going to move forward, but you ultimately don't shift the body forward. The bottom of the arc of your golf swing comes before the golf ball, and then you catch it up. I am always surprised how low people tee the golf ball. If I'm trying to hit up on this golf ball, I need a nice high tee. Now, I appreciate and I understand why. If you are a slicer of the golf ball, you are coming down too steep, which from an angle of attack perspective would normally mean that you're going to get a negative. Now, if I have a high tee and I'm coming down too steep, then this thing might pop up and not go very far. So then people start to compensate for their swing by lowering the tee. When you're coming to practice, if you're trying to change technique and improve your angle of attack, then you need a nice high tee, at least half a golf ball above the crown of the driver, please. So I've got my visual, and now I'm going to try and feel that I work up to the top and keep my body slightly behind as I swing through, and I'm going to get hopefully a positive. Now, again, from a positive angle of attack, I'm happy with anything between +2 and +5. Sometimes I can hit quite positive if I really went for it. In fact, shall we? I've hit enough sort of reasonable shots. I'm going to try and get as positive angle attack as I can. That has got to be best drive of the series so far. But felt like I didn't get in front of it, stayed behind it, launched it up in the air, and got 5.9. So 2 good shots in this video for a shot caller. That definitely deserves a like if you're watching this on YouTube, please. But with 2 ideas of how to work on your angle of attack. So if you're practicing and you're seeing the angle of attack number and it's not quite as positive as it should be with driver, or too positive when you're hitting an iron, hopefully a couple of ideas for you. Right. Next video, we're going to talk about club path, smash factor. Can't remember now, but there will definitely be another video in the series. I'll see you on the other side.